Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel for another episode of Road Salt 1946 Chevy Rat Rod project. And today, let's chop the top. I think so. Here we go. Alright, so, yep, I think we're going to chop the top. It doesn't look quite right. As low as it sits to the ground, it's kind of got a big bubble top. You know, rat roddy. It usually has a chop top. And I was a little hesitant to doing it before. Kind of didn't know if I'd run out of time. But I think I've got quite a bit of time yet to be able to get this thing ready for the car shows coming up here in the next couple months. So we're pretty much done with it. So we might as well get the top chopped so we can chop the top and get the windshield put in, get the back window put in, get the rest of the interior fixed up, and then it'll be ready. So let's get this thing chopped. Alright, so I got the cuts laid out, drawn out on here. Last time I did it, I used tape, and it really confused me. I don't know, right side, left side brain, whatever ain't working right. I couldn't figure out which side of the tape I was supposed to cut on. It really got me confused and worried. So this time I put out actual lines, you know, so I put tape up there and then started drawing on it to where it's got to be cut out. So I'm going to cut out the back here, leave the window as full, and just lower the window down. So that's 4 inches there. So that should be good. 4 inches all the way around. Not sure exactly on the front where to cut yet. Still thinking about it or researching a little bit more. So I'm not going to do the traditional where you cut it and you cut it in the center and you split it and you got to add to it. I'm doing an actual pillar lean back. So I've seen some other people do it that way. Seems a little easier, you know, we'll find out, but I'm gonna do it that way. But we got her lined up, so I guess we can start cutting her. Moment of truth is coming up. Measure twice, cut once, or cut twice, measure once. I don't know. All I know is we're gonna cut the top of it off. Okay, so just getting ready to start looking at cutting it, and as I'm looking at it, I'm noticing, okay, because I want to cut this piece out, slide it all down, but if I cut that far down in there, that's going to be cutting into this structure right here. Don't want to do that. Good thing I took a look at that. So I guess I'll probably have to cut the 4 inches out of this top part here and slide the window down, just to get some measurements here. But yeah, that probably would have been a mess if I start cutting into that, cutting into the cab structure. I mean, it can be done, but just a lot more work. So measure twice, cut once, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure I'm not doing this right, but it's the first time I'm doing it, and I'm going to do it. I'm not bracing the cab all up or anything. I'm just going to make it fit. So this will work. Easy peasy. Well, here we go. All right, well, she's chopped. She's a convertible. Yeah, got that off. Now I'll just get these other pieces cut out. Cut the doors out here, cut them off, and then start putting it back down and figuring out how bad I screwed this up. Yeah. Okay, so I know this is not right. I still gotta cut some out of here. Gotta kind of figure out how all that's gonna all work. But yeah, I got that back there. Gotta cut out, windows down, you know, looks good. So yeah, so now I just gotta cut this out of here, out of the front, figure out how much I'm gonna cut out of there to be able to get that to go down, lean that back. So I think that, you know, I've read somewhere where like you do 4 in the back, 3.5 in the front. I'm not sure how that works with it being tilted back, but yeah, I'm liking it so far. I think we're doing all right. I don't think we screwed it up too bad. All right, so that's close. We're getting closer. Got this put in spot right here. We'll need some relief cuts probably there. Push it in here. I mean, this can go forward a little bit right there, but we'll have to shave a little bit out of there to make it fit better. But I think that's kind of where it's at right there. So I took about 3 inches out of the front, a little more than 3 inches, 3.25, and 4 inches out of the back. I think that looks pretty dang good. This side, same thing. I said just did a cut on the front to tilt that back, cut on the back here to tilt it forward, and then line it up. It's good there. Like I said, probably have to do some relief cuts here to pull that in. But yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. We'll get them, do a little bit more shaping, a little more cutting, and we'll probably tack it into place. I think it looks pretty good. It's a lot better height. It was just too high. It was like a big bubble cab on it. I think this is a lot better. I still want to be comfortable enough to drive in, get in and out of, but definitely it's going to look a lot better for sure. All right, little trick I learned on the YouTubes. Don't remember what channel I learned it from, but on a chop, I'll put these, you know, some tubing in here. 1 to help for structure, and 2 to help line it up, so as I'm putting the cab down on it, it's going to help line it up. So, you know, great idea, great tip. So, little tip if you're doing a chop, put them in there and help line it up. Okay, so I got them pieces in there lined up pretty good. Push that back a little bit, but yeah, I think that's gonna work. I think so. I'm gonna trim it up a little more. And yeah, relief cuts in the back still, gotta do that yet, but yeah, I think that's gonna work with those in there. Hold in place a little bit more. A little more support, and lines up really well. Yep, I think that's gonna work good. Alright, so we got started welding on it. Got her tacked into place in the back, both of them backs. And we started welding here. So the front of this welded up. Doesn't look too bad. It's got a little bit of a whoop there, but I don't think you'll see it going down the highway. You know, I said it's my first learning experience of this. I'm sure I'm doing it wrong, but I'm doing it my way. So yeah, so we're starting to weld her up. I have to weld it in the back here too, all around. So that's where it's going, you know. So that's where it'll be. So on to more welding. Okay, pretty much got this side welded up, ground down. It's pretty much what it's gonna look like. Maybe might ground a little bit more, a little more spot welds, but that side's done. So yeah, not too bad. I think looks pretty good. That'll rust up just fine and blend right in. So we're gonna go over to the next side. This is what that side kind of looked like with the gap, you know, the lean back gap there, cut from the back, you know, so it can lean forward on the top part there. So yeah, we'll get this filled in, welded up, and then we'll move on to the back and start getting the back done. So there we go. Okay, little trick that I learned on the YouTubes. Learned this from Bad Chad. A lot of people think it's a stupid idea, but hell, it works for this. So got this gap, you know, here to be able to weld. Try to weld that, you just burn through it most of the time trying to fill that gap. So he takes a coat hanger, puts a coat hanger in here, basically just kind of hold the weld in place, and then weld the coat hanger in there. I don't have a coat hanger, but I have this wire that I actually found in the truck. So God knows how old this wire is. So it was found in this truck. So it's gonna become one with the truck. So fill that gap in just like that. Not the right way, but it's my way. And there we go, filled in with filler rod. That will grind her down, you know, so it's not so boogery looking, but I don't know, works. Bad Chad for the win. All right, well, we got them tacked into place, so it's all tacked all the way around. I'll spot weld all the way around it, all the way to the side. So now the painstaking task of just going back through and welding all in between all them little spots here and there, so it doesn't warp it too bad. I mean, it's not going to be a show queen or anything like that, but yeah, we just don't want to be really twisted, warped. So get her welded all in now. Yeah, so get it ground down just like that all the way around. That's all it needs. Doesn't need anything special. So we'll get the rest ground down, and then we'll start working on the doors. So a little more grinding. All right, well, we got the door, top of the door on. Got her welded and ground in place. The rest of the grinding was done on that. Door opens and closes not too bad. Gotta kind of give her that Chevy shove when you close the door, but other than that, it looks good. So I think that looks really well compared to what it was. I think that that chop really did it. It took some time, but I think it's definitely gonna be worth it. So we got finish this side up yet. So I think I'm just gonna close out this episode because we're just gonna do up that side, and then the chop will be pretty much done. So that was definitely quite a bit more work than I thought it would be, but it turned out really well. Well, like I said, we'll close out that episode, this episode, with the chop. We did do the chop on it, so that turned out really well. If you like what you see, hit that like button down below, share it, subscribe it, and keep coming back for more content. We'll see what we can do. Next will probably be windshield. I think we got the Lexan right there. We're gonna do a Lexan windshield. Just be cheapest, easiest. So we'll put that in next. So until next time, keep wrenching out there, everybody. We'll see y'all later.